Oh, my vision before cataract surgery. Well, I had cataracts. I had my one in my left eye was worse than the one in the right, but I've been wearing glasses since the second grade, and so I was very nearsighted, and the cataracts were making it difficult to read traffic signs, making it difficult. Everything seemed darker. It was harder to read unless I had a lot of light, and it just became obvious that the cataracts were getting worse. I ended up with the Vivity lens, which I'm really glad I did. I don't have any night issues. I don't have any haloing. I don't have any issues with any of that. And I get to read most everything. The only time I need cheaters at all is if it's very small, like medicine bottle print. But everything else, 99% of the time, I don't need any help at all. My cataract surgery, what was it like? Amazingly calm. I walked in the door, we sat down. Everyone was so welcoming. From the person that greeted me at the door to the nurse that covered me up and got me ready. It was different than what I expected out of a medical facility. They were glad I was there. They were glad they could help me. And everybody was, the kindness is what really I noticed, was the kindness of the staff, from the greatest to the least. Oh, how did my vision change after surgery? It was interesting because it did take a few weeks for it to settle. I would wake up my whole life and not be able to see it with my glasses. So I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have to grab my glasses to see, to the point where I had alarm clock with digits that big, and right next to my bed, just so I could see. And now I wake up and I can see everything. Probably the greatest example of that is my wife and I were traveling east of the mountains, and we had to go south before we went over the mountains, and we're traveling on I-5, and we're cresting the hill coming down off the plateau from Stanwood down in Darlington, going across the Stillaguamish River. And out in the distance, I saw a hot air balloon. And I said, Tanya, my wife, can you see that hot air balloon? And she goes, yes. And you would have never been able to see that before. And when we kept traveling and took Highway 2, and we realized that hot air balloon was actually in Monroe when I saw it. And that is something I could not have seen just months before. How did my lifestyle change? I don't know that it changed a lot, other than I just find myself not having to reach for a pair of cheaters or glasses. I wore contacts almost my whole life since I was 15. Just not having to, I would find myself going to the sink to wash my hands before I went to bed because I had to take my contacts out. And it took me months to not wash my hands before I went to bed. But as far as the lifestyle, I just don't reach for cheaters. I'm not reaching for glasses. I'm not reaching for something to help me see. Almost every time I don't need anything. So it's awesome. Why did I choose Cascadia Eye? That's a really interesting question, because I had an appointment with another clinic, and I won't name them, but just my phone conversation was off-putting. My wife had gotten recommendations. She's a healthcare provider here in the county, and she had got recommendations for Cascadia Eye, recommendations for Dr. Dan Siapco, and she kept encouraging me to call. And I got a different recommendation from my optometrist, and so I went with that one. Then when that didn't quite fit, it didn't feel like a fit, I called, made an appointment, and saw Dr. Siapco, and I'm really glad I did. Would I recommend Cascadia Eye? Yes, and I have. You don't need to ask me to, because I've been very positive about that with folks, and when people ask me how I like, when they find out that I had that surgery and the results I've had, They ask me where I've gone, and I am more than happy to say I've gone to Cascadia Eye to see Dr. Siapco, and honestly, it's just the way I was treated. The results are awesome, but it's more of just how I was treated by everybody. Just a very kind and professional place. One thing I like specifically about Dr. Siapco is we just connected. We honestly did. We had a really good connection from the start. It helps that we're both musicians. We both like music. We both love Jesus, and we have have that in common. So it really helped that he understood. He prayed with me before the surgery, and it's just a really good connection. But I haven't had any issues with dry eye or anything like that. So